So everybody keeps on saying that the stock market is about to crash, but that's not what we're going to discuss today. And honestly, that's not even the biggest problem that we're facing over the past 48 hours. Some are even saying that McDonald's announcing layoffs is just another sign that a recession is right around the corner, and that's something that we should be worried about. But again, this is not what is going to send 275 million people into shock. In fact, what was announced just the other day should actually be considered a gift to the Biden administration. And I want to explain why. But again, it's going to send about 275 million Americans into shock. Here's why. So just the other day, oil prices jumped, well actually this morning, oil prices jumped by $5 a barrel. They're up over $81 a barrel. It's all because of one announcement. And that announcement was from OPEC Plus. OPEC Plus has decided to cut oil output by another 1.6 million barrels of oil per day. This is not starting today in April. This is not an April Fool's joke. This is actually going to start in May. Now, this production cut. This might not be the last of the cuts that we see. And this production cut would extend all the way through the end of the year. So we would see this production cut remain in effect until at least January 1st, 2024. But why? Why are we seeing this now? Why would cutting oil production make sense, especially when if you produce more oil, you can sell more oil? Well, here's what I can tell you. Based off of previous cuts, the number one reason why OPEC Plus does this is to keep prices stable. Here's what's happening right now. We have a set amount of demand and we have a set amount of supply. Well, guess what? If we increase demand, which is actually coming, there is supposed to be more demand coming because guess what we're doing? We're traveling over the summer months. It is the beginning of April. So starting in May, they're going to start this 1.6 million barrel cut. But guess what? It's only about 2% of their total output. But again, 2% is 2%. But here's the thing. As we see this cut in supply, demand is actually going to tick up, especially here in the US. Well, guess what? Right now, OPEC Plus does not want to see oil prices drop into that $60 range. They would be much more profitable if we see oil prices go up to $90 a barrel. And again, it's just over $80 now. But if it goes up to $90 a barrel, that's $10 per barrel more. Or let's say $100 per barrel, that's $20 per barrel more. That would be good for OPEC Plus, right? So, in order to bring the supply, in order to bring demand, right, or the prices up, because again, we can't change demand, but we can change supply. That is what's happening here. It's the supply and demand principle. Okay, so they cut production because, according to multiple reports, they see a global recession coming. This recession, this is going to cause less demand. And when we have less demand and we have supply staying the same, guess what it does to prices? It drops them. That is why they cut supply. All right? But again, this is the first week of April, and this is already not a good sign. But here's a major problem for the American people, especially for the roughly 275 million Americans that are not considered upper class. Gas prices are now projected to rise once again. And this increase in oil prices will actually coincide with summer travel. So get ready to see prices go up in the coming months. Now, one person said, and I quote, "We're not going to get back to $5 a gallon, and I don't think we're even going to get into the high fours." But here's a fact. The fact is that we are currently sitting on gas prices per gallon nationwide as an average here in the United States of $3.50. So even if we don't get to the high fours, What if we get to the mid-range fours, like $4.50? That's $1 more than it currently is nationwide right now in the US. If that happens, we would see a 29% increase from today's prices. Think about that. Think about what a 29% increase is going to do to the American people, especially the lower income and middle income households. This is going to bring back the fears of additional inflation. That's what we don't want. That is what we cannot afford. And remember what I said this weekend. I said the biggest concern for food prices remains to be oil prices. The biggest concern isn't a shortage of food. The biggest concern is not a lack of ingredients from certain countries like Russia. No, the biggest concern for food prices isn't even wages. It remains to be oil prices, okay, for manufacturing, but also shipping. That's the concern. So, this announcement from OPEC Plus only worsens the cost for the American people. Again, and I've been telling you this, stock up on things, save money, cut costs. You need to do those three things. And the fact that lower and middle income households spend more of their income on food, this is really concerning for them because they spend more of their disposable income on food. And that is very troubling. Now, what is also very troubling and extremely concerning to the White House is something else that this cut actually did. Because again, let's just recap here. By OPEC Plus cutting production, it's going to raise the price of oil per barrel. It already did. Okay, it's up over $80. It was up $5 per barrel just today. Guess what this does? Okay, this increases the price to everybody all across the world, not just here in the US. Okay, but here's the thing: it doesn't necessarily cost any more money to produce that barrel of oil. Right? So here's the problem. For the US, we've done different sanctions. We tried to cut off Russia. We tried to do all this stuff to hurt Russia, to prevent them from continuing to invest into this war, put more money in, right? Well, guess what? A production cut from OPEC Plus means Russia is actually going to have more money from their oil sales. The revenue that Russia brings in from oil sales is what's propping up their economy and their efforts in this war with Ukraine. So obviously the White House is not excited for what just happened. The other thing is, and this is where it's actually somewhat beneficial to the Biden administration, is this now means that gas prices are going to go up. What do you think is going to happen as gas prices go up? The Biden administration is going to come out. They're going to promote some, green energy, and they're going to do all this stuff to bring back and try to increase tax credits to electric vehicles. At the same time, that currently, as of right now, they're cutting some of these benefits. Not all the vehicles that used to be eligible for this tax credit are going to be eligible. Guess what they're going to do? They're trying to bring those back. The other thing, they're going to push more people into EV. That's what's going to happen. Okay? I'm not saying I'm an expert. Okay? But what I can tell you is that we're already getting talks. This announcement is less than 24 hours old. Okay? This announcement. And this is sending shockwaves throughout the US because people know what's about to happen. So, as we get more information as to what to expect and what we are going to see in the near future, I promise I will bring you all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.